Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a review of the Shure SE215 and the Shure SE846. To keep this video short, this video will focus on the SE215 and the other video will focus on the SE846. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the SE215 and to go from there. I have a bunch of notes here, but I know that it's hard to read my writing, so I actually provided printouts for you guys to take a look, and if you want to skip through the video, you can actually literally look through my printouts and get a sense of kind of what my thoughts are, and to go from there. Okay, before I go on further, I'm just going to give you a too long didn't read, like right off the bat, if you want to know. Overall, this has a very V-shaped sound. It just sounds, this is not neutral. It doesn't sound neutral at all. Ironically, actually of all the IEMs I own, this sounds the closest to the SoundMagic E10. That's not a compliment. Well, it's a compliment in the sense that if you're looking for something that's not accurate, you know, you'd probably go in that route. But if you're, in my opinion, and I tried, so in this, basically, if you read through these pages, because I'm just going to save you the trouble, I don't want to, you know, just the way I used to do the reviews, I would literally go through each tip and read it out and tell you what I think. You can read the notes right here on the screen, but let me just save you the trouble. So I tried Truth Your Gate tips. I've tried Clarion tips. I've tried K-Bear 7 tips. I've tried Tang Senkai tips. I tried Truth Your tips, and I tried all of their stock tips. And no matter which tips I used, it just didn't sound right. Basically, either the vocals sounded off or the bass sounded off. So for reference, let me go ahead and kind of at least go through a few things of kind of telling my calibration process. One of the first things I do when I check out any IEM is there's this one song by BB. It's a reference track for me. Basically, the bass goes boom, boom, boom. I always use this like every single time. And actually, it's funny because when you literally read through here, you're going to see the word BB Weekend like 20 times. It's because every time I would try a new set, I would like calibrate, where are we in bass? The problem is that when I would play like the first 3 seconds, I would notice right away, like, that's way too much bass. Like, that's way too much bass. The bass is too much. So like, I'm trying to like, I know right off the bat, like that just doesn't sound right. The bass is like way off. But also what also makes it kind of strange is it actually is a little bit V-shaped because female vocals would still kind of have like clarity, but not quite like, but then if you would try to tone down the bass a little bit in a weird way, it would actually make them sound more sharp and sibilant in a way. It was weird. Like, so between, if you're using the stock ear tips, it sucks because these plastic ones give it more of a, I would say more of a plasticky sort of trebly sort of sound, which is kind of like, you know, more brighter, but it's not doing it favors. But then when you use the foam tips, the comp light foam, then it starts to sound a little bit too muffled and too bassy and more woofy. And I kind of wanted something that's right in the middle, you know, something not so like thin, but not so woofy. These aren't it. So you have to search elsewhere. And so there actually is, you'll notice right off the bat, like, how are you able to actually fit these other ear tips in there? Well, so I have a Final Audio E adapter here. So when you look here, like there, right there, when you go ahead and pop that out, this Final Audio E adapter allows you to use other ear tips. So you can tell I'm like really trying to make this work. But at the end of the day, no matter what I did, I'll just kind of quickly scan through it. You know, there's no positive words I can really say about it. I say, you know, it's a bit too bassy. You know, I'm not liking the sound. It sounds low res. You know, the bass is taking over too much. This sounds V-shaped, too much bass. I go, let's go check back BB Weekend. You know, and overall, it's just too boomy, too subwoofy, too smeary. You know, and I check BB Weekend again, too much bass. You know, then I go back and I check like, again, checking BB again. The bass sounds more correct, but now his voice is smeared out. Because I kind of use the two, right? I look at, what I do is I look at the first 3 seconds of BB, and then that lets me know where the bass is. Immediately within the first few seconds, I'm like, this is too much bass. And then I go and I check Justin Bieber's voice. It's because like that's just like, that's become my reference because I just use that as a reference. Yeah, you got that young. And I know if his voice sounds wrong, and it just kept sounding wrong. Like, it doesn't sound right. It sounds muffled or low res. So in the end, what I do want to say, and this is my final conclusion at the end, you have to remember this is around $100, right? So in my opinion, there are better options whether you're looking for something more fun, or whether you're looking for something more neutral and accurate, or whether you're looking for something that's more budget. So if you're looking for something that's more neutral, something that actually sounds closer to you, even I would say, you guys know, I hate the Hexa, but like even I would say, go for the Hexa if you're looking for something that's better for monitoring. This is $80. It's cheaper. This will sound closer to how you sound, right? Then I would say the Truthier Pure, if you want something a little bit more fun, which is around $80. I would say the Tantrum Fission. Now I put the Origin right here, but the Origin and the Fission they both pretty much have the same sound. So the Fission you can get for about $130. This, in my opinion, sounds a whole lot better and is a lot more accurate. Also, the Dunu Titan S. You can get this for like $40 to $50. This is a lot more accurate and truer to form to how you sound. The other ones I want to talk about is if you go budget, well, the Moondrop Chew 2 sounds better, actually. Now, I do want to actually let people know this. You guys should know this. I know everyone's ears are different, but to me, this was like a revelation. Get the K-Bear 7 tips and try the Sky Blue ones. Just try it. It is game breaking. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? It's just like, there were actually a few game breaking tips that I want to talk about here. So that's one game breaking tip you should know about. The other tip is, if any of you guys have the Critical Dusk, everyone knows that dusk cable, when you pop it in, it makes the dusk sound like a dusk. Well, did you know that if you put a Studio 4 in that dusk cable, it just makes it a whole lot. Oh, wait, I'm going off topic. Anyway, sorry, one more thing. I also want to say, if you're looking also for something that's like for monitoring and for fun, the Sennheiser IE200 is a better option as well. This is V-shaped, okay? But V-shaped in a bad way, because all the bass is all blubbery, and then all the treble is too sharp and just not pleasant. It might be possible, okay, just to play it fair, because I know there's a lot of professionals who've used this or continue to use this. It might be possible that this probably sounds closer to how you sound when you factor in all the drums and whatever, because that's what it's used for. This was intended to be calibrated to all the sort of loud noise and drums and everything, and then your voice being able to kind of peek through the sound, right? But aside from that, if you are just looking at this from a point of accuracy, this isn't it. You're just going to get, it sounds really muffled, low res, in my opinion, V-shaped, if you think it sounds accurate. But anyway, that's my thoughts regarding the Shure SE215. All right, you guys have a great day.